speaking of that, like, have you ever felt nervous to post something and like when you did post it and it got the feedback you were happy about, like how did that feel? Like what piece of content was surprising that worked out for you, I guess?
I have two.
Okay.
One of them has to do with like very much like a work life, and then one of it has to do with just like the full bookstagram. Akatar. So
Oh yeah.
fun fact about Akatar, I had picked Akatar up like long before I started doing book talk. And I remember when I first picked it up, I couldn't get into it. I don't know if it was maybe because I just got, because it was the one after the thriller. So the first thriller book that got me back into reading, I picked it up right after it because someone in my life was talking about it. And I remember reading it being like, nah, I guess I'm just not a fantasy girly. So I like put it down. And then it was everywhere on Book Talk when I finally joined. And I remember being like, man, everybody loves it. There has to be a reason. I'm always one of those people that when I'm not a hater of popular things, they're popular for a reason. And so I was like, nah, if everybody loves it, there has to be a reason. So I picked it back up. And I remember everyone hating Tamlin. And I just couldn't figure out how everyone was hating Tamlin because he's the first main person of this
Yeah.
book. And I remember being like, you know what, I'm just gonna post it. Maybe I'll look dumb. Maybe people won't understand it, but it kind of blew up for what I'm used to. And I just remember being like, Tamlin doesn't seem like the bad guy here. I mean, I'm only this far in, and everyone was like, ooh, just wait. Just wait. And it really took off. And I just was surprised. I was like, oh wow, okay, this is really big. And then the second one would be work life. I made a delusional goals list for 2024. And there are a lot of stuff that you just, when you put them on your delusional goals, they're delusional for a reason. You just don't think they're going to happen. And I've recently gotten into narration. Like I love listening to audiobooks. I've always been a physical reader, but I've really gotten into audio. And I said that I wanted to be in an audiobook, even if it was small. I got like one line. And I got invited by Lyric Audio and the author Laurelyn Page to be in an audiobook. And so I play a character in an audiobook, and it was really exciting and
Yeah.
far
Well,
above what I could ask for.
congratulations. Is the book out already? Or
It
the
is.
see? Okay,
Yep.
perfect. We'll make sure to tag it in at the end of this video. Another thing you're talking about that kind of made me think of it is like when you're talking about Kiara. Yeah, when you are talking, when you're doing when you're going through ACOTAR and going through it, and people love to see a book or a movie that you've already had an experience with, and they're like, okay, I can't wait to see this happen. So now, even with Kiara, when she's going through Harry Potter, people are losing their mind because they know what's happening, they can feel it, and they want to see those first moments as a content creator. So that's really cool too.
Yeah. Oh, I love her. And she's just so, I think that's why I love her so much because we're pretty close now, which is so funny to
Yeah.
because I was such a fan for so long that when I first finally started talking to her, I was like, why is she even talking to me? I was like, me? But she's so amazing and authentic. And I think that's the great thing is that I feel like, especially with the reactions, so many people, and I'm one of them. So many people think that my reactions are a facade. They think it's fake, it's put on, and they're not. And when you meet people that do the same things and feel the same way and get just as heated or into it, it's really amazing. And so she just makes it so fun. And it's like,
Yeah.
because I read them back in middle school, and so watching her go through it, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that feeling. And so yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the reason I love doing this is like you always see these content creators doing their stuff, and it's like maybe short form content, it makes it laugh. But like when you have a chance to hear the create behind the creator, like what they do, like even you growing up in Oregon and some of the things, it you really fall in love with the content in a different way, because now you know that person from their experiences and what they believe and how they go about things. So I would love to hear about how you go about creating content in bookish when you're making book videos.
So there's a couple of different things. When I first started, a lot of it was live reactions. So like it still is. A lot of what I do is live reactions. So like when I'm reading it, especially if it's like an angsty book and they're really putting me through it, it's what I'm feeling in that moment. I'll just pull up my phone, I'll put it out, and I'll just rage to the camera or swoon to the camera. The When I do long form, like if I do a review, I'll sit down and I'll really think about all the key points that I liked, and I'll kind of write out like a script, something to follow, so it flows
Okay.
naturally. And then a lot of a lot of the ones where I'm doing like recommendations to music. I love music, and I'm a little bit of a dork, and I will sing in the mirror. Like, I mean, like full blown have concerts by myself in the mirror. Shut it, put my headphones in, and sing to myself. And I'll find music through that, and so then I'll be like, that would be really great for these type of book recommendations, and so then I'll put those books to that music. So there's a couple of different ways that I do it, but my most standout one that I would say a lot of people know me for is just randomly screaming at the camera.
Yeah. If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you head over to www.bookumapp.com to download our app so you can connect with your favorite bookish content creators, start conversations, and start your own book club.